We're back with another one, and we're talking Top Gun. That was like the highest earning movie of 2022. Right? Incredible. We watched it. You enjoyed it.
Very much.
I enjoyed it. The reviews are spectacular. And I think it's Tom Cruise's highest earning movie of all time. $1.6 billion at the box office. And it passed in the Infinity Wars Endgame, Marvel. It passed it in the domestic box office.
Wow.
Can you imagine? It passed a Marvel movie, one of Marvel's biggest movies in the box office. So with those kind of numbers, people are speculating, is there going to be a Top Gun 3?
Absolutely. Why not?
Right?
Why not?
What do you think, Linda?
Definitely. I mean, that freaking movie did so good. It was so amazing. I mean, it just like blew my mind. I remember seeing it and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And of course, I mean, he still looks good, Tom Cruise, you know, he can still do it. I think he can do another one. Of course, it's not going to be like how many years it was from the first one? 30 years. Of course, it's not going to be like that. It has to be in the next 2 to 3 years. But he can definitely do it. They can do it. They did so good, and they can make another story about this movie.
Exactly. So they asked the producer, Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced this film, about it, and he didn't fully, disclose whether it's been greenlit, whether it's definitely going to be a third one. But I got to say, with this kind of money at the box office, they could definitely do another one. You know, it's all about the money. Some people are like, oh, why they keep making these sequels? Why they made a sequel of this? Why they made a sequel of that? When there's money, there's a sequel. And when you make the highest earning movie of the year, there's a high chance there's going to be a sequel. Now, one thing that they did with this movie is not just about Tom Cruise. They also introduced a whole bunch of younger characters.
Exactly.
So they could also focus on the younger characters. And, you know, Tom Cruise's character, Maverick, continuing to kind of coach them into being on their own and doing their own missions.
Right.
And there could be all kinds of missions that these Top Gun, aviators could go on.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of missions. So I think it would be a great idea. I'm all for it.
Me too.
I would watch another one.
I mean, as long as that they keep it as good as the second one, because the first one, I'll be honest, I was like, this movie's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't understand what was the hype at that time 30 years ago. I guess because it was 30 years ago. But, I don't know. But this movie, just like, it was amazing, like, honestly amazing. And if they keep that up for the third one, like, I would totally be so hyped for it.
I would say if it's the same director, because the director did an amazing job. This movie could have been a disaster.
Could have.
This movie could have been like really bad CG, but the approach that they took, the director and Tom Cruise, to actually fly these planes, to actually do like training. Tom Cruise did a whole schedule of training these actors how to like fly. These actors were actually in the planes. They actually had to get on the plane and press record.
Wow.
And the director was directing from land while they were flying. You know, so it was up to the actors to press record to make sure they had the footage. That is just nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Which it makes it a little crazy because they're kind of risking their life. Because they're not Marines professional, pilots, right?
Yeah.
They're not. So
they're not Air Force pilots.
That means that they had to train a lot, first of all. And something could have gone wrong. I mean,
a lot of things could go wrong.
Thank God nothing went wrong, but something could have, because those scenes were so intense. Yeah. And I'm sure they were going in a high, in a very fast speed, right? Yeah. And it's crazy. I mean, we have seen some reports of how they did certain parts, and it just looked amazing and like crazy directing, like something that you don't really see.
Exactly. When I was watching a movie, I didn't know how they made the movie. Yeah. I didn't know. And I'm like, man, how did they... I was like, that is some really good CG. That is really... Like, how did they do this? This is one part where one of the characters, the plane turns, and you can see his body levitate, and then he kind of like holds on for, like on the glass of the plane,
On the plane.
and then he kind of pushes himself down. And I was like, I remember being in the movie theater like, that was so real.
Yeah.
And it was real because that actually happened. That was actually him in the plane when the plane was turning and he was pushing himself back down to the seat. It turns out he didn't have his seatbelt. He wasn't secured enough.
So it really happened.
It really happened. Like he should have been strapped on tighter, but he wasn't.
And they kept that.
And they kept it because it was like incredible.
God.
It's incredible because it showed
But
like the gravity.
You see what I'm talking about? Something could have gone wrong with that.
Something could always go wrong. I mean, have you seen a lot of Tom Cruise's stunts in the Mission Impossible movies?
Yeah.
He does some crazy stuff. Like that one time in that movie that I forgot which Mission Impossible movie it was. Like he hung on from the side of a plane.
Yes.
And that was actually him. The plane took off with him on the side. That guy's crazy. I don't know how he's still alive, honestly. Much respect to Tom Cruise. Much respect.
I'm not gonna. I mean, Tom Cruise is, I think, one of the best all-time actors out there. Like
All
in
time.
action, and he still looks really good for his age.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. What do you think? Top Gun 3. Would you go watching? Let us know. Leave us a comment and press that like. See you guys later. Peace.